Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is Wednesday, actually. Look at that, I'm a day late and a dollar short. So it's time to get to the 2 days after Bill Burr's Monday morning podcast. I'm Joe. If you know, you know. If you don't, welcome to the fucking show. Like I said, I'm going to try and make it to where my Tuesday casts are about, what Bill said on Monday and Thursday. So it gives a little more to talk about with him and his comedy, or what he had to say. Now, going on those figures, obviously it's fucking Wednesday, and by the time it's posted, probably be listened to on a Thursday, whatever. That's fine, shit happens. But, no, the reason I wanted to wait, to be honest, I gave it I put in like 10, 15 minutes yesterday. Well, let's start at the beginning. I totally fucking, I pulled a amateur move. I guess not amateur move, but, for me, for the working man, the working woman, the working class, whatever you want to call all of us. For us, it was, holiday was Monday was the day off. Well, not for everybody, but, either way, point is taken. So I'm like, all right, cool, day off. I'm fucking laying in bed, watching TV, smoking, grabbing food, whatever, didn't matter. And not till Monday night. So, God, I want to say I don't even know, like 9 o'clock maybe. I was, in the room, getting ready for bed and shit. And who's got the fucking green light? Okay, I guess I'm, look at that. I guess it's me that got green light. But, it was like 9 o'clock Monday night, and I look at my phone, and it's like, you got a notification. And I'm like, all right, check it out, whatever, And it says, I follow Bill on YouTube, obviously, so it says, he's posted a new video. And I'm like, oh, fuck, it's Monday, And I'm thinking, I'm like, shit, so I gotta listen to Thursday, I gotta listen to this, which luckily Thursdays are shorter, because like I said, I don't do the old cast, because I'm not gonna talk about shit from 10 years ago, just in case, there is ever somebody writing in, or there is ever a response, or, any word from his camp, or anybody's camp, I don't want it to be about fucking some dumb old shit, but, no, so it's like 9 o'clock at night, I'm not in bed, but damn near, getting ready for bed, and, everything ready for work, have my laundry done, blah, 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 all your home chores, the stupid shit. But, so yeah, 9 o'clock, I'm like, oh shit, I haven't listened, I don't have a single note, I don't even know what the fuck he said, and, I got some stories of my own, but like I said, I'm trying to change the format a little bit. So I'm trying to save those stories, which actually, just in my head now, thinking of it, I forgot a couple, because like I said, I've been needing to write down. Oh, actually, one I put a note. Thank God. But no, I need to all these funny moments that happened throughout the week that I want to tell you guys. I need to start writing them down more. But that's supposed to be mostly saved for Friday. But the reason I chose Wednesday, like I said, besides being late, I could have stayed up. It's an hour and a half podcast listening to Bill. So, really, what are we fucking doing? Are we in a parade here? I mean, Jesus, doing 20 miles an hour? Fuck, man. And I bitched the traffic in yesterday's fucking last night's attempt. I was going somewhere, and there was this fucking, I don't remember what the car was doing, but they weren't doing the right shit. Oh, and look, and the side of this car is all smashed in. Well, guess what? That means either you fucked up or somebody else local here fucked up. So somebody's fucked up. Yeah. Apparently people don't drive good anywhere. So anyways, yeah. Tuesdays are supposed to be, about what Bill said. So I'm going to make it mostly about what Bill said. The only reason I made it today, like I said, besides not wanting to squeeze, trying to make like a quick note deal, which I still kind of did. I didn't even take notes. I listened at work, and we're now after work in the studio on the way home. And so yeah, the reason I chose today the main reason was I wasn't even looking, but last year Labor Day was my last day, well, last full day living in Florida. And then it was Tuesday the 2nd, or whatever fucking day, I don't know if it's the first. I know it's the first Monday, but I don't know if it's always the first, or if we got lucky on that. Oh, you dick, you could have made the light. But either way, yesterday was the day that I left Florida for good, or at least for good as far as like living, well, I can't say, who knows what the future holds, but in my head, in my heart, the North is where I belong, it's where I want to be, besides missing my family and a select few friends. I love the land, I love the fucking, the seasons, all that shit. So that's why I waited till Wednesday. I thought, you know what, let me, it's a little bit of a celebratory kind of week for me, I lived out, I've been outside of Florida for total time about 3-4 years, besides this 1 year that I moved, but it was never continuous. So longest continuous, time out of Florida. And then today at about, between 10 and noon, is when I actually arrived at the place I'm living. So yeah, it's 4:40 right now. So yeah, right now, a year ago, I was, fucking literally, and it's part of why, like I said, besides this cast, and we're in a transition. I'm transitioning, guys. I'm transitioning from a 2 times a week bill to a 1 time a week bill, and I was born a 2 times a weeker, so it's hard, but I've always felt like a 1 time, no, it's, sorry, I'm transitioning here, so it's going to be like a half me, half that. Only, like I said, it's an emotional, but it's a celebratory, but it's also crazy to think about, it's, I don't know if you'd say midlife crisis, because I don't want to say it's crisis, but it's like, it's a fucking, looking back, it's like, wow, I really did this. Like, a year ago yesterday, I packed up a fucking, I got my cat, put him in a crate, fucking got all the stuff I owned that was, special or important to me, and, yeah, put it in a rental car, and that was it. I mean, you hear the stories of the fucking people, like, or you see on, like, cartoons, like the homeless, and he's got the stick, and he's got the fucking rag that's tied up, with, like, the belongings in the rag, and it's on the stick, and the person's just walking down the side of the street. That was pretty much, the stick was the rental car, and I was walking, and I moved, fucking over 1,000 miles away with my clothes, my cat, and 2 boxes of, special, like, stuff for my mom, and, family stuff, stuff you can't get back, can't replace, blah, blah, blah. And that's pretty much it. I fucking, like my dad, his story, part of his story is, he moved to Florida with, like, everything he owned was in a milk crate. And when he got to Florida, it was him and his milk crate. And I kind of did the same thing, but, let's just go with, my generation's milk crate, which is the compact rental car. But yeah, so I made it today because it's like an honorary, special, 1 year since I've been here. Not 1 year for the podcast. I didn't even think about it or start it until after I was here and watching stand up and other shit. But yeah, so 1 year here. Like I said, so I've been through all 4 seasons. I've come, full circle. And it was a beautiful year. I still got my job, which means, and I haven't had any negatives, any write-ups or demerits or any cause for concern. So that's good. I'm actually thinking on my 1 year, at the job, I'm hoping, we're hoping, we always hope, of course. Now I feel like I sound like fucking what's his name. We hope, we always hope, what a hopeful country we have, and we're amazingly things and blah blah blah. No, I'm hoping though in this 1 year, when we talk, it's like, you've been not an example. Is this dude walking down the street with a golf? Yep, he's walking down the street with a golf, and he's looking at me weird because I gave him a weird look. Now he's looking at me weird. Imagine you're driving fucking back roads. All right, I'll paint the picture real quick. Sorry to cut the other story off, but this is fucking. You don't make this shit up. Back roads, right? I mean, I could take highway, but I like the scenic route going home. Well, both ways. Gives me more time to podcast too. But so I'm, back roads. I'm in between, bunch of grass and trees, on one lane each way. Some dirt, some pavement. Most of it actually got paved. If you listen to my cast, I said everybody's in for a special treat. All that bumpiness is gone. I'm driving that spot right now. Right here's where I'd be bitching about my seatbelt locking up on me. But they paved it all blacktop, nice and smooth. But no, either way, I'm fucking driving down this like fucking country road. Not a house, I wouldn't say for miles, but only a few houses down this whole fucking thing. I mean, there's a couple dirt roads, and then there's a couple houses down those, but it's not like neighborhoods, You got like a one cul-de-sac I see here. And there's not even one, that's it, one cul-de-sac. And the rest are just, house here, house there. But no, this fucking random guy, I want to say he looked, I don't know, because I feel like, white age is worse. Like, they say black don't crack, and then you got Asian folks who, look like they're like fucking 30 and they're 80. But so I want to say he's probably, he's black dude, whitish beard. So I want to say like probably 56, well, not 50, like late 50s, 60s, something like that. He wasn't walking fast. He wasn't acting all crazy or nothing. But no, it's just, I'm, like I said, I'm fucking country roads here, and he's just walking on the grass, no sidewalk. He's walking in the grass, just swinging a golf club, like just not even swinging it like hard. Like I said, he's not acting crazy. It's just he's fucking literally just like, it's like he's like, I guess, I don't know, chopping at the grass or something. I don't know what you want to call it, but yeah, it's just fucking. How do you like? Why? What do you do? What is he doing out there? And how did he get there? What's he doing? Why? Like, does he need a fucking does he need not a handler? God, what's the fucking a caretaker? Like, was this guy supposed to go golfing today? And fucking like at the last hole, they're like, okay, buddy, we're gonna meet you back at the how do they call it? The country club, the house, the main building. And he's just like, okay, and then he just starts walking, and it's full, 5 o'clock almost. So yeah, so he was out at tea time is 9 a.m. and he's just 8 hours away from whatever golf course. He's still looking for. That's what he's doing. He's still looking for his fucking ball, and he's probably got like dementia, or Alzheimer's or something, and his fucking people just were assholes and were like, you know what? Let Uncle Fred let him, what? He chopped it into the water. He sliced it, whatever, fucking let him go look for it. Not realizing that, here he is on the fucking country street, smacking through fucking grass that has no golf balls in it. Probably more likely to hit a fucking, a bug's nest, like those fucking, the wasp that has an in-ground, like in the dirt nest or whatever. Which, I learned about before I moved up here, but I guess they're more common up here because somebody was like, oh, I stepped on a nest. And it's like, I never heard about people doing that in Florida. But I'm from a very industrialized, modernized area in Florida. No dirt roads, maybe one or two, fucking as I'm going down the dirt road to my house now. So yeah, culture change for sure. But, yeah, so it's a 1 year anniversary, yippee-ki-yay, motherfuckers, whatever. But, so, yeah, anyways, like I said, it's supposed to be about Bill. It's going to be a little bit, like I said, about a transition period. I am going to try Friday to do all me. I doubt Bill will have anything Thursday that's worth putting in anyway, to a fucking, my own cast. Oh, God, I feel bad saying that because it's not worth it, but worth putting a whole podcast into. But, yeah, geez, crunchy pine cones, huh? But, shit. So this is supposed to be the one about Bill, right? It's supposed to be about Bill. So I did listen, and he's in a great fucking mood, or so he was when he made the podcast. And let's see what else. So he was in a great mood. He fucking talked about sport. He was talking about the Red Sox and the Yankees. And I remember speaking of that, I gotta send him an email, see if he fucking even looks at it. I don't even care if he reads it, because there's not gonna be anything to read on the podcast. But I got family photos of, like I said, my family with the Yankees back in like the 50s and stuff. Back when sports players and famous people were actually fucking approachable. So I just like to see what he thinks, because I'm not a bandwagon fan. I'm not the Yankees are good this year, so let's put on my jersey. But they're like, what was he talking about? The Knicks. He was saying, like, when they're good, every Knicks fan is like, yeah, it's fucking New York, blah, blah, blah. We're going to win it. We're going to win it all. And fucking Boston sucks. And then, he's like, when the Knicks are doing bad, he's like, you don't fuck, it's crickets. And I just want to say, I don't give a fuck what people think, but I wanted to send him the picture of one, because he thinks, he's into cool shit. And I think it's cool. And then for two, it's cool to be a sports fan and you're not, a bandwagon fan. Like the Tampa Bay Lightning. It's funny, actually. So that's the one Tampa team that I root for. My mom's side of the family's from the Midwest up here, and my dad's side is from the Northeast, New York area. So it was either New York or pretty much like Ohio or Michigan teams. And so I don't know. My dad was always, between the two, he was the louder, more get your attention of, him or mom, obviously. I don't mean obviously like in a negative way of my mom. It was obviously as in like the generation and what I've talked about as far as my mom and dad and their personalities. But, no, so, fuck, what was I even talking about? Fucking dad ruined it again. See, he's always getting in the way of something. Oh, shit. Well, no, so, yeah, family, no, Lightning were the only Tampa team. I'm first generation in my family, born in Florida. I don't know why. Way too fucking hot. Way too hot. And most of the people are not even nearly as nice or friendly as the people up here. I don't know why. Now, I will say I've noticed a lot more of like racial and sexual tension here. Like, oh, don't go to that neighborhood. That's that neighborhood is all these kind of people or these kind of people, or, you want to stay in these neighborhoods or blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I don't get like, I never had that when I was in high school. Like, when I was in Florida, fucking living my life, nobody ever came up to me like, oh, what are you doing tonight? And I'm like, well, we're going to go to downtown, whatever. And it's like, well, make sure you stay north of, 22nd Avenue, which if St. Pete, I'm actually throwing out a number there. But the point is, it's like, you make sure you stay in the safe places. And it's like, fucking the dangerous place. I mean, there's places across the oceans that you could be in a hospital or in a fucking daycare and a bomb, blows it up because they're at war and shit. And then we're over here like, well, you wouldn't want to drive down a street with 5 bad people. And it's like, yeah, I get it. If you look rich or if you look wealthy or, you're clean cut, shaven, whatever, you have a nice car, and you go down a bad road and, the right people are standing outside at the right time with the right motivation and all this, I get it. Or same thing with being like house break-ins. People break into people's houses. It's like, well, nobody said, well, make sure when you buy your house, you move it to a nicer neighborhood. Or somebody breaks into a house. It's not like the neighbors are like, all right, fuck it. we're leaving. This is a bad this is a bad area. We got to go. No, that shit doesn't happen. So, it was never like that. Like, and I never had like you don't want to go to this neighborhood's all, Catholic, and this one's all Muslim, and this one's all black, and this one's all like everything's all fucking color coordinated, like it's a damn fucking kindergarten map. No, I was never given those instructions. Like I said about St. Pete, 22nd. Yeah, I was told there's a certain area where, it's more dangerous than others, but I also have I have friends that, walk down those fucking streets in the middle of the night, and fucking someone tried to rob him. He opened up his wallet and he's like, dude, I'm fucking broke. And the guy robbed him. What are you going to do? So he fucking, the fuck out of here then. Okay, I'm out. And they walk away. I mean, it's fucking, obviously you don't want to, like I said, you don't, if somebody says, these are the bad areas of a city, I'm not saying go down there with a pistol and a fucking wad of cash and start swinging your arms around screaming. But at the same time, I'm not saying like, oh, if you're a hoity-toity, well-to-do person, you definitely, you have to avoid this area. Like when I first, last spring, when I flew into Detroit, the airport, and when I was checking out the surrounding areas with my friend when we were planning on moving up, a lot of people, I was like, well, we're flying into Detroit, so I'm going to check out, I was like, you got to see where Eminem grew up, shit, he's like the face of the city, at least, if you don't count muscle cars, American Motor, I don't mean the company American Motor, but just American Muscle, American Motors, in general, the resurgent Lions, if you don't count those things, for a long time, Marshall Mathers, Eminem, whatever the fuck you want to call him, Slim Shady was the face of the city pretty much. And, for me growing up, he was like, for one, he was, the white rapper, which, stood out. But then for two, his shit was wild. He was singing about fucking people in trunks and fucking just wild shit and Bonnie and Clyde and all that, and other people, I mean, yeah, you got your Who Shot Ya, and, you got your Tupac fucking Biggie shit, but, I mean, nobody really sang, and that was a feud. Eminem didn't even really have a feud, he was just, like, fucking making up shit. Well, I mean, he had a feud with his mom and some others, but, for the most part, he was just making some shit up. And, but no, so I'm like, yeah, I gotta go see where he lived, I gotta see where he grew up, like, it's one of those, like, obviously I'm not there. I'm not sitting on the steps, like, watching little 8-year-old Marshall get, like, beat up by, because he's in a bad neighborhood, or fucking he's trying to be a rapper, or he's acting black, or whatever. I don't know. But, so I'm not there. I can't, but it's one of those, like, even, well, I got to go to New York before 9/11, but say, even to say your first time, like, when I was, with my ex-wife, when we were together, we went to New York on a little vacation trip, and obviously you have to go to Ground Zero. You got to go to the Freedom Tower and the Memorial, and I say have to. It's not because it's out of respect for the victims, the people, whether you think it was done an inside job, an outside job, terrorism, government, blah blah blah, all that. At the end of the day, the people that were working, the people that got their coffee and went up the elevator, or going upstairs, the people in their office, fucking writing on paper, like, the moms and dads or whatever that just dropped their kids at school, like, all those people, they weren't in on shit. So, you gotta, like, just for the thousands of, thousands of innocent people who were, terrified and jumped, or came tumbling down with the buildings, or whatever the case, people in the planes, everything. I feel like, same thing if I ever went to, I was going to say Hawaii. If I went to Ohio, I have to stop for the victims of Pearl Harbor. No, Hawaii, I feel like I'd have to go at least visit Pearl Harbor. It's a historical thing. I mean, I know Eminem's not historical like those two, but for the, purpose of the area, he's historical. So I'm like, all right, I need to go look. And I'm telling my family and friends my plans, and they're like, oh no, don't go there. That's a bad area. And if you do, just remember, it's you and your friend. You're two white folks in a rental car, so it's a nice car, and then remember this, and make sure you don't stop the car, don't get out of the car, just drive by and take your pictures and keep going. And it was like, man, we got there, we stopped, I fucking walked around where the house used to be. There's like a little butterfly garden there now. There's like a sign. I took pictures. I fucking, I could have sat there and smoked the fucking joint. Like, I mean, there was no imminent fucking danger. There was no, look, there's a white kid, let's fucking get him. Like, none of this shit nobody said. I mean, sure, was it like driving down the street? There was houses where the wooden porch was gone. It was like, did it rot away, or did somebody actually steal your fucking stairs? Like, and so what now? Do you sit on the concrete and then flip your legs up, or do you like Spider-Man flip up it? Or like, how do you just, I mean, as a kid it's fun, but like for the older folks, like, how do you get down? You got like a 3-foot drop off from the concrete where your stairs used to be. So yeah, obviously, judging by that, yeah, I'm not going to say it was a great neighborhood, and the houses were all, destroyed and torn down, and no, definitely not a good neighborhood, but, once again, not one of those places where it's like, oh, if you even drive through there, you're going to have, like, your car's going to look like fucking, like, I guess Bonnie and Clyde, maybe it's Bonnie and Clyde, the car had, like, 70 bullet holes in it or some shit. Yeah, I haven't been to an area yet. Same thing, New York. Oh, watch out for the alleyways, man. Which I'm not saying take your money and your gun and go flying down the alleyway like la 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 la. Fucking, that's on you. Or the subway, But if you act like a regular, normal fucking person, just living your life, like I've walked across, I've cut alleys, I've been in the subway at fucking midnight and late at night with, regular clothes, with a full blunt, unlit, or however you want to put it, pocket with a wallet, not full of cash. I was gonna say I had my cards, but either way, the point is, if you're not flaunting shit, if you get, somebody after you, it's more of just, you're the random person that happened to be there, not so much, oh, they targeted you because you were a certain color, or you had, this or that. And like I said, and if you did get targeted, then you're probably flaunting it anyway. But let's see, what am I at? Oh yeah, we're at a good 30. Well, 28. And I'm home. I would sit here and ramble on some more. I know I didn't even talk about Bill much. Actually, fuck it. I'll give it a couple minutes. Let's see. Bill said he was happy. He's happy as fuck. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, yeah, he's got some shows. He said he's doing shows up and down California. And then I saw, like, on his website or Instagram, some random. It was like, yeah, we're doing California, Bahrain, fucking Turkey or some shit, or wherever the fuck in the Middle East. And then California. It was like, what? Like, what are you taking a week? Did you find like a weekend deal? Did Spirit Airlines have like a round trip to Bahrain? Fucking, $99 deal or something? Like, what? Unless there's other ones, and that's the only one I caught, like at the ticket postings. But, yeah, there may be other sites, so I could just be a fool. But, let's see, we had that. He said the internet was like hard drugs. It sucks because it was one of the better, Mondays was one of the better podcasts, I think. It was funny. He was, upbeat. Let's see, talking about, he said the internet, was talking about like hard drugs, like if you could do it once. And then he's like, but if you're a user, which I think, everybody that I know and have met for the most part are, internet junkies. I'll say it. I'll put the J word out there. We're all internet junkies, man. I gotta log on, man. Just one log on. Fuck, what else did he say? Let's see. He was talking about that. He had a couple people that he was just like Like, who the fuck are you? Because they were like doing both sides of the coin. You know what? These clouds are rolling in. They say they got some weather coming up. Like I said, I'm in a transition, so it's partly me, partly Bill. I'm going to re-listen. Anything I missed that was funny, I'm going to catch in on Friday. And I'll fill that in on any stories that I can't remember of my own. But like I said, from here on out, we're going to try and do, for the most part, Fridays about my funny stories. And then Tuesdays will be Bill's Thursday and Monday. Other than that, have a, what is it? Well, I can't say full week, but have a good rest of the week. Stay happy, healthy, safe, sexy, dry, if you want to stay dry. Other than that, go fuck yourselves. Bill, go fuck yourself and your family and your friends and all that. And we'll catch up on Friday. Hopefully I have something funny to say or tell you. Shit.